Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Everyone knows that Albertans shouldn't drink and drive, but submitted receipts have shown that senior health officials and even the Premier have been travelling lavishly and drinking on the job. A FOIP request by the CBC revealed that senior Covenant Health executives have also been expensing fine dining and booze on the taxpayers' dime. Obviously, this government has lost control and driven our healthcare system off the road and into the ditch. To the Premier, will you order Covenant Health to disclose all its expenses with receipts so that taxpayers can see exactly how many fancy dinners and bottles of booze they bought?
Hear, hear.
The Honourable Deputy Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I don't think there is a person in this House that can deny the fact that this government right now has introduced some of the most strict travel and expense policies for all members of government. We also, I believe, opposition will follow, but also for executives and for employees of our public service. Now, Mr. Speaker, we have also requested that agencies that work indirectly for government or with government of Alberta adopt these policies, and I believe all, if not most, have already started looking at their expense policies to comply with those of ours. Now, what I find particularly offensive, Mr. Speaker, is to make allusions that the Premier is drinking on the job, and I hope that this member reconsiders that kind of language.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Liberal Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that 50% of the government's $41 billion budget is contracted out to agencies, boards and commissions with little accountability in how they spend public money, given that not only do these executives get huge salaries and golden parachutes, they're charging taxpayers for all the extras. To the Premier, why are you keeping agencies, boards and commissions exempt from your new expense policies? What else are you hiding? How many more bottles of booze and fancy dinners are being wasted on Alberta's taxpayers?
Honourable Deputy Premier.
Mr. Speaker, we won't engage in that practice, but I can almost assure you right now that if we were to pour through the expenses of any member of this Assembly, we would find that the members of the Assembly work late hours and often during evening and night times go to events. But I can tell you one thing. Maybe if then the opposition would do a better job on public accounts. They have the ability every year to bring every agency before public accounts and examine their expenditures of last year in the Public Forum on Public Accounts Committee. I would invite them to call these agencies and put them before public accounts.
Honourable member.
Mr. Speaker, only in this job will they drink and bill the taxpayer for the receipt. Mr. Speaker, given that the Premier's own sister has been implicated using public health dollars for illegal political donations, it's no wonder the government wants to keep this issue bottled up. To the Premier, why does the Premier still refuse to order a line-by-line forensic audit of all health spending and the disclosure of all health executive expenses from previous years to present? What else does she know? What else is she not telling Albertans?
Mr. Speaker, first of all, I have to tell you that we are extremely proud of the thousands of public service employees that work for Government of Alberta and do their job diligently every day. And I can assure you, Mr. Speaker, that any person whose life is in the health of a medical professional, those professionals are not in any way drinking on the job. But I can also assure you, Mr. Speaker, that just like in the private sector jobs, just like the leaders of the opposition and all members of this Assembly, and frankly every Albertan, from time to time, as part of your job, when you go to a reception, they may consume a glass or two of wine, and I think that would be perfectly acceptable. With respect to charging it to government, bring it before public accounts.